Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a fire damage focused LOCKADIN Warlock Paladin build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. So this is really cool, and we're going to be using the Hellfire Great Axe, although there are a few other weapons that we will be using. I'll be showing you how to get them. So for this class, we're going to start off as the Paladin, because that's how we get ourselves the heavy armor proficiency. So we're going to obviously start with that. The Paladin has a pretty good start too, and for the subclass, we're going to go with the Oath of Vengeance. This gives us the Inquisitor's Might, which will potentially daze targets, which will allow us to hit our hold person on them a little bit more likely, which is really awesome. So I really like the Paladin to start off. The Warlock does have a good start too. I find that it's kind of balanced, especially early on in the game, but the Paladin itself it has heavy armor, so you got that protection early game. So yeah, again, Oath of Vengeance. As for our ability scores, we do have to have a good amount of charisma, so that's going to be the main casting spell for the Warlock and the Paladin. Now we got to have some dexterity to give us armor, to give ourselves the initiative, and then constitution obviously for our overall health. Something like this can be good. You can go with a higher stats into your strength if you want to have 16 there. Now if you're in Act 3, you can also dump your strength, or also later on we won't really need our strength as high because you can bind your packed weapon as a Warlock. And yeah, you can even go with a lower one to keep your wisdom up high to help with preventing yourself from getting hold person on you. But something like this will look good. Even having 14 dexterity for increased initiative is nice, and if you want to wear medium armor, you can go that route. It's kind of funny they hold out the Hellfire Axe here for some reason, but I'll be going through all the leveling here and then the gear near the end. So at level 2, we get ourselves the Divine Smite reactions, and they're really great. Divine Smite should be a great one of the main sources of your damage. As for our fighting style, there's two big ones. Defense for the +1 armor class is extremely useful early on in the game. However, great weapon fighting just makes sense because when you roll a 1 or 2 in a damage die for a two-handed weapon, that die is re-rolled once. So it's just going to flat out increase our damage, and it also re-rolls the smite damage and critical hit damage. So you'll flat out do a bunch more damage. So either defense or great weapon fighting. I'll be showing you a build that will also use two-handed weapons, or two weapons, so dual wielding too. But for our spells, Command, Searing Smite, go with all the smites just to have them. They do take a bonus action, so I don't use them often, but also Divine Favor gives you another choice of bonus action concentration to increase your radiant damage, or even Bless if you don't have a Cleric, but the Cleric will typically be your Bless person early game, so we'll go with that there. Level 3. We get ourselves Abjure Enemy, so fight an enemy, they'll have disadvantage on ability checks, attack rolls, and cannot move. But Vow of Enmity, which is really good. Gain advantage on attack rolls against an enemy. You can also put this on yourself and get advantage on all enemies, and that's really nice. We also get Bane and Hunter's Mark, so that gives us a 1d6 slashing damage. Conditional, it takes whatever damage type you attack with, so if you use Flame Blades, it'll do fire damage. Now for our next level spell, Shield of Faith for a +2 armor class is nice. It's not terribly important what you pick. You can even go Cure Wounds just for a... Healing isn't your best choice, but sometimes it's okay just to have it. But at level 4, we get ourselves the Feat, and I would say that taking up our Charisma is going to be the best route here, because this is going to increase not only our spellcasting modifier, but our attack rolls once we add in the Warlock. So level 5 is a big power spike with our extra attack and level 2 spells. And the Paladin also gets Hold Person and Misty Step, which is just incredibly powerful. The Oath of Vengeance is really good. So being able to teleport around, fantastic. Being able to use Hold Person and keep people in place, also fantastic. I'm a big fan of both of those spells. Now we also can prepare another spell, so we can go with something like the Branding Smite. Aid is okay, but it's best to use someone else to do this on the team. And then Magic Weapon can give a +1 to attack and damage rolls, which is not bad, but not something we're going to use often. Now we can continue this route and get Aura Protection, which will add a +4 to saving throws. But I think it's actually good to add in the Warlock at this point, because this will give us Eldritch Blast as a cantrip. Mage Hand and Minor Illusion are also two really good ones, so I'd go with either of those, or even Bone Chill for the preventing target from healing. For the subclass, the Fiend is the fire one, so we're going with that. And it'll also give us temporary health whenever we take out creatures. And then also we get Armor of Agathis and Arms of Adar as choices for spells. This is more of a cold focus, so I'm going with Hellish Rebuke. The next attack within... next time you get attacked, you can deal 2 to 20 fire damage on the target, so it's a 2d10. This is a reaction, so nice to have a damaging reaction. I also like Hex, because that can even increase your Eldritch Blast damage by hexing the target with a bonus action, so not a bad combination there. At level 2 Warlock, we get our Eldritch Invocation, so you know what we're going to do. Burning Hands is a good choice. Even Armor of Agathis is not bad to give yourself ice, but or cold damage, not amazing. I'm going to take Burning Hands. I don't normally like this spell, but it just makes sense on this build. So, as for the Eldritch Invocations, I really like Agonizing Blast and Repelling Blast. So, Agonizing Blast will add our Charisma modifier, so +4 to each beam of Eldritch Blast. And Repelling Blast will push the target's back 4.5 meters. So, you can send them off a cliff. See you later. Devil's Sight is also really nice. So you can see normally in darkness, both magical and non-magical. So no one else can see in magical darkness other than the Warlock, and that makes this a really good option. So you can go with that if you'd like to, but I think boosting our Eldritch Blast is a good reliable fallback if we don't have the ability to make an attack. Now we get level 2 spells, and Scorching Ray is obviously the one we're going with here. This is a 66 of fire damage, and it fits on the fire build perfectly. And then we're going to take Pact to the Blade. This will give us the Bind Pact weapon to give us the Charisma modifier as our damage. But at level 5, we get us extra attack. Now, if you're on Honor Mode, you don't get this, but if you're playing and you're playing on any difficulty other than Honor Mode, you're going to get an extra attack, giving us 3 attacks at level 10, which is quicker, much quicker than if fighter gets at level 11. So, yeah, really nice. I'm a big fan of Pact to the Blade because it just gives us 3 attacks, and we can also cast spells. At level 4, you can pick whatever one of these you want. For spells, I like Darkness a lot myself. Mirror Image can increase your armor class by 9. I'm going with Darkness, though. I think that's a good choice. Cloud of Daggers is good, too. Some people really like it. I think that Darkness is honestly the best way, though, because you can blind targets and kind of create some crowd control this way, because its concentration hits in a huge area. I'm a big fan of Darkness. And then for our ability, there's a couple that we can go with Great Weapon Master. When you land a critical hit, or you can make a bonus action attack. And then we can deal an additional 10 damage with our attacks with a -5 attack roll penalty. So it does make it a little bit less likely to hit, but you do flat out a lot more damage. And it kind of works well with this weapon, so you can go that route. I think that even Savage Attacker, so when making melee attacks, you roll damage die twice and use the highest result. But Ability Score Improvement or Alert are my 2 favorites. +5 in Initiative or taking our Charisma up to 20. However, if you left your Charisma at 17, you can use the Hagster to take it up to 18. And then use the Mirror of Loss to create 20, and then you can put it up a couple more. But here we get our Deepened Pact, which allows us to do an extra attack. Woo! And for our spells, Hunger of Hadar is like the obvious choice, but I'm going with Fireball first because we do have some synergy with like the Pyro Quickness hat that we want to take advantage of as early as possible. And for our Eldritch Invocation, Devil's Sight just makes sense because we took Darkness, so now we can see in the darkness. That's really good. And at level 6, we get ourselves that next spell slot. I like Hunger of Hadar because it's just useful. Blinds the targets, and they take damage, cold and acid damage, which works fantastically well. And for our final level, we can continue. So we can get Wall of Fire or Fire Shield. You can go back and add the Paladin to get the +4 to saving throws if you want to play a bit more defensively, but Wall of Fire is not a bad concentration to have, and taking our spell slots up to level 4, so I guess I'll back out of this just to show you, like, right now we got ourselves the 2 level 3 Warlock spell slots, and then our regular Paladin spell slots, which is nice, I like that, but we can also just go with a higher level here, take Fire, Wall, and then go with, there's a few choices that we can go with, like Book of Ancient Secrets gives you Ray of Sickness, Chromatic Orb, and Silence, you can cast without using spell slots. This gives you Confusion, but we only have 2 spell slots, so it's kind of rough. Beast Speech gives you free animal speak. I also really like Beguiling Influence, which gives proficiency in Deception and Persuasion. Honestly, not a bad one to take. And, yeah, I'm going to go with that route there. But you can take which one of these you'd like. Because at this point, we already got everything that we want for this build. So, yeah, here we go. So we got ourselves, we can bind our pack weapon. So you can do that with this here. So bind our pack weapon. Now it's using our Charisma modifier. So with this, we got that. So I'm actually using the Hellfire Gloves here, and it doesn't look like it actually adds a fire damage to it, but it does, because this has an innate 1d6 fire damage. It also has the Thermodynamos. Whenever you deal damage with this weapon, you gain 2 turns of heat, and it gets a +2 weapon enhancement. We can also go with the Thermo-Arcanic Gloves, which whenever you deal fire damage, you gain 2 turns of heat. So if we don't want to go with higher fire damage, this will take our attacks down a little bit to 25. You can give yourself multiple stacks of heat, but the weapon itself is already going to get stacks, so you don't have to go that route. I like the Helldesk Gloves for this +1 spell attack rolls and spell save DC, which helps because we do cast spells, but it deals 1d6 fire damage and +1 strength saving throws. Now we also get the Pyro Quickness hat. When you deal fire damage with level spell, you burn yourself and gain a bonus action, an extra bonus action, which is actually really good. I have all these. Give ourselves the 23 armor class. Killer Sweetheart for the critical hit. Amulet Greater Health just to give ourselves the 23 Constitution. And Armor Persistence reduces all incoming damage by 2, and we get Resistance and Blade Ward, so that's really nice. I'll show you the Hellfire Great Axe, and I'll show you some other weapons that we can use. So the Hellfire Cleave is pretty good. Oddly enough, this does count as a spell, so it can be counterspelled, but you can see there, it deals a good amount of fire damage and it looks cool. It creates a fiery surface there. And then we also get ourselves the Cleave as well. So we got that. We can go with a Cleave. I missed. But there's also the Prepare, which we can use up our movement speed to give ourselves extra damage. Not a bad way of going about it, but this hits really hard. We were able to... 53, 15. Yeah, we were able to take out Halston in one attack. Oops. And that wasn't even with a it wasn't even with a smite. So yeah, the Hellfire Great Axe is really great, but we can also go with a different way. So this is a 1d12 and it re-rolls the 1s and 2s, which is really good, but we can also go with the Flame Blades. So what's interesting about these is they do an incredible amount of damage, up to 44. I'm getting hit with the fire there, but alongside the our attacks, we got upwards of 44 damage. So you can make permanent flame blades. There's a guide on my channel on how to do that, so you can check that out. It's super useful. But we can also set our reaction, so Divine Smite on critical hit, Divine, just to make sure that we always have our Divine Smite triggered whenever we get our critical hits off. So just make sure that you have that checked off, and then you can go Paladin if you want to prepare another spell from our spell book here. You can also add that in because we did increase our charisma. Our Warlock spells are all there. We got our passives, and then all the common actions that we got from being a Lithid. But yeah, what's nice about our smites now is we can, I guess I'll go with a Divine Smite and show you the damage. So yeah, that's crazy. 84 damage up to, and yeah, I guess I won't even use on Will. He's almost dead, so no point in that. I'll go a level 4 spell on Jahara. And that did 25, 27. Crazy. And then we can just use a level 1 and finish. Oh, critical miss. Dang. But we keep the spell slot. So there it is. 2 shots. Done. Yeah, this gets really powerful. Even just regular old weapon attacks can take out people most times. 24. And in our offhand, we did 37 plus 24. Crazy. So yeah, we also get Ray of Fire from the gloves. So we got multiple options if we don't want to use something like our other spells. But even Burning Hands is kind of cool because we can use Burning Hands, and then with this spell we also we'll get an extra bonus action because it's a leveled spell. So that is the one benefit of the Pyro Quickness hat, is every time you deal fire damage with a spell, you burn yourself and get an extra bonus action this turn. Burning kind of sucks, but we're not really taking a whole lot of burning damage. We're just on fire there. But we'd get heat from the great Hellfire Great Axe, so that would cause it as well. But Vow of Enmity, which would give us advantage on our attacks, is really nice. So we can just go in there and attack with things like, even Searing Smite makes sense for us to attack with because it fits thematically. 35 plus 4 wasn't super effective, but even just our regular weapon attacks can one-shot. 44, 27, yeah. I really like the Flame Blades because they hit super hard. We can take people out. He's got resistance to fire, and we're still doing a ton of damage on him. So that just goes to show the damage potential of this, which is crazy. See, he's got resistance to fire damage, and we're dealing pure just fire damage, and he's taking it. Or not really taking. He got taken out in a few hits, but yeah, with other characters, we can just go in there. I guess we still have Vow of Enmity there. So I can go in and attack the Duke, and this will start combat. He'll try to run away. All my team is getting downed. I rolled terrible initiative. Is Mizora going to attack? Hold monster. Yeah, we'll use that. And then we can attack, so it's our turn. I did use my action on that attack, so that kind of stinks, but we still get a couple attacks. He's going to revenge attack, and he missed with that. I didn't buy in packed weapon, so I didn't get my extra attack, but oh, I don't like scratch attacking. But yeah, maybe I'll end that off there because it's sad whenever I see everyone fighting each other. But yeah, what's nice about this is we got multiple weapon choices. Even if you got like the Everburn blade, that's another choice. I really just like, even if you got the Helldust gloves, you can use anything. The Flail of the Ages has a burning condition you can apply on targets. You can apply fire damage to any of these. Drake Throat Glaive will give you draconic fire damage that you can apply. So even if you want to, you can put the crossbows on. The Hellfire hand crossbow deals fire damage with the gloves that I got on, but you can also use the Drake Throat Glaive to be able to apply that as well. So there it is, a fire lock-it-in build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.